Hi everyone. Wait, do you still see me? And does the fan bother you? Give me 1 second. Hi. Does the fan bother you? Um, it's still a little hot. It wasn't. It's not as hot as last week, but still a little hot. Okay. Does the fan bother you? Hello. I'm waiting to I'm waiting to wait for your answer. I'm waiting for your answer, sorry. If the fan bothers you, you don't hear it. Okay, perfect. Okay. Can't hear the fan. All right. Perfect. I'm going to greet everybody. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Let me greet everybody. Can we discuss the spoilers? Okay, we can discuss the spoiler. Let me pull it up. I actually didn't put it. Let me put it now before I greet everybody. I saw it this morning, and holy crap! I thought we're done with that, but I guess we're not. Okay, here. Let me pull it up. Let me. Let me get it ready so that after I greet everybody, we can talk about it. There you go. Okay, let me say hi to everybody first. Um, Hi, BTS 7 plus 1 and Shoulder, Salmart, TX, Shelling, and Kathleen, Lucy in the Sky, Leah, Cindy, Marie, Nigma Price, Fire Butterfly, Carol, OSP, Norisa, Tickles World, Sippy, Halina, Arlene, Michelle, P, Rosika, Lorena, Melva, Nancy, Lilisa, Orchid MSC, MJD, Seda, Team Messi, Dodger Girl, she's on Twitch, Susan, Owensky, Christy, Darlene. Wanted to make sure that my mic is not on silent. Nigma Price, Shime, Fire Butterfly is also on Twitch. 185 Reese also on Twitch. Lisa, Carol, Cindy Consuelo, Tisa, Victoria, Bora Winkle, Susan, and Arlene. Thank you. Thank you for being a member, Arlene. The first video is going to be published tonight. Okay, and then I will be doing members only live streams, and then I'll just start uploading other content for just the members starting this week and so on. And then I was able to free up some of my schedule. I will also be doing some live stream on Friday. Okay, how is everybody? Is everyone excited? And were you able to catch the live stream of V and Jungkook? Jungkook's special participation. I think I remember in the last live stream that they did. Jungkook mentioned something like Jungkook and Jimin mentioned something like they were going to be that they're gonna work, right? Because Jimin was going to drink, and then well, he was acting like he was drinking, and then Jungkook told him that to wait 2 days so that he can join, and then because I'm assuming he was gonna work or probably a shoot. That's the only thing I could logically think of because if he drinks, he's gonna look bloated and his body is gonna bloat. So I'm assuming that he didn't want himself to look like to look bloated because it's a long term like thing that he's going to be shooting. And then Jimin said that no, he's not drinking because he's actually gonna be working as well. So I'm assuming that that's where they have been in the last 2 days, just working for whatever those may be. Nigma Price, drummer, Squirrel, Young Forever, Seda, Neo Kisopes, Shime, Elizabeth, Ray, Amy Cohan, Angel Star from Cali with Love, Nikon Lady, Julie, I am Claudia, BTS 7 plus 1, um, Theorine, Arlene, Susan Mitchell, RJ, Melanie, 1984, BTS Paved the Way, Iris, Lynn, Eva, Warren, Lorena, Deborah, Helena, HHK. Wow, there's a lot of you suddenly. RJ's, Lisa Parker, Bob, lurking because my comments are removed. Huh? Why? Why is it removed? Fire Butterfly, Kara Owensky. Okay, I think this is Lakeisha, Katrina, Temot, Timot, 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 Timo, Timo. Elizabeth, Amy Cohen, Val, RJ's, Katrina, Susan, Juveline, Robin Carr, Senri, Viv, RJ, Dawn Marie, I think that's it. That's everybody. Hazel, Pretty in Pink, Didi, Sylvia, Seda, Bangduna, Dawn Marie, Rosika, Georgia, Eve, Warren. Okay, I think that's everybody. Pinayonce. Who got TXT tickets? I haven't gotten mine, but I am planning on going. It's going to be BMO. So I'm hoping I'm hoping to get a suite, but it's not like the big suite. They have a smaller suite where it's just like 4 people. That's what I'm hoping to get. I'm probably gonna go and try to get it a suite hop because that they actually sell it per seat. So that's what I'm hoping to get for TXT. But yeah, who's watching? KAG, hi. All right. Uh, is everybody ready for Jin in LA? I haven't gotten my tickets, but I have this um unreasonable and delusional vision that I'm going to get a ticket on the day and it's going to be really cheap. Of course, that's not going to happen. That's just my delusion. I know that I think it was Elaine she notified me that there were some tickets released, like I think the other day, and it wasn't resale. It was actually, and it wasn't even premium. It was a really a good price, like 400 something. But by the time I got to it, everything was sold out. So I still do not have um, uh, any tickets. So, but I'm hoping to go. Okay, Letitia, hi. Anyone think we might get members crashing? Jin, I think they are. They're probably. They're probably actually that fired me up when I sort of started thinking about the fact that the members are actually in LA and they haven't watched the concert. So there's a big possibility that they're gonna go. So I was like, oh my god, and now I really need to go. But I think they will be. I think there's going to be. I think they're gonna go 400 tickets. That's like nosebleed, right? I guess it's okay. Let's see. I mean, on the day itself, if I still don't have a ticket, then I'll take whatever I can get. I was hoping to get those tickets released, and it wasn't floor. It was 200 level, but by the time I got to the computer, it was sold out. So that's it for me. So yeah. Okay. Good luck, Fairly. I hope you do get that good price. I really hope so. That's just a delusion. I don't know if that's gonna happen. uh, Someone reported seeing JK at Anaheim Stadium this morning. Oh, maybe that's where they are going. They're gonna be rehearsing with Jin. I don't know. These are just speculations. Okay. I'm sure they will. JK would be in the concert. Fairlane, I'm a bit confused about what you meant about secret membership. Do you mean for Patreon or something else? Oh, it's not secret membership. It's membership for YouTube. Yeah. So I opened up YouTube membership. It's a different content than what I'm offering in Patreon. My dog just got back from his walk, so it's a different content. Um, so yeah, so different content. I decided to just open a new one. There's going to be a mix of other groups. Like I'll start like reacting and giving reviews on other groups as well, not just BTS. And then I'll also start talking about my personal work in that. So yes, so that's a YouTube membership. Um, what else? Before we go to our sell tickets in Florida, the venue is indoor, so it will have air conditioning. Okay. On other creators group, Sleep, there was one 400 level ticket, 127. I know. Were you the one who sent that to me? Yeah, I saw that 400 level, 100, which is not bad at all. It's a really really good price. But I've told you I have this delusion that on the day itself I'm going to get a ticket. That's really good price. But that's just a delusion. Okay. All right. So I'm just thinking, I'm looking at my dog if he wants to join or something. Okay, so let's see what's gonna happen. I still really want to go. The only reason I decided not to go was because because we're going to. I was supposed to go to Europe. That didn't push through. So then I'm free to actually go to LA. So, you know, things things happen. All right. What do you want to talk about first? Do you want to talk about demon hunters? I just want to geek out about manifest. Yeah, manifest. Just want to geek out about demon hunters, and then I didn't know about the new membership. I sent a donation to your donation page. Just help. I'll do the YouTube later. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, my first content will be uploaded this tonight for the YouTube membership, and then I'll be regularly uploading after that. Um, I am behind in acknowledging those who donated just on the donation link. I so last in the last video I did thank everybody who gave super thanks, but I should be thanking everybody, so I will do that next time. Okay. Not VIP, but C section still very close. Ooh. I got a purple crown earlier too, says it's for engagement. Hmm. All right. What do you want to do? Demon Hunters, you want to talk about the case of Bang Shi-hyuk, BTS records, or news and updates? Don't you just love his eyes? The reason I use the thumbnail for this live stream actually has nothing to do with him. Well, sort of, but I mean it's not him like directly. It's just that look at those eyes. Look at his eyes, guys. I'm so in love with his eyes. It's so expressive. You can basically see, like, you can read his emotions on his eyes. Right? Look at that. He can't lie. He can't lie with those eyes. Even if he ends up lying verbally, his eyes will give him away. BTS records to start. So these are the records of BTS that that they can break. So they, in this next comeback, if we are able to help, of course they need our help, Army's help, in order to break these records. But these are pretty interesting, and also it's going to be groundbreaking. Number one, BTS is already one of the few groups that are actually going to stay active together for more than a decade. So they already are active together for more than a decade effectively. And had it not been for that military enlistment, they probably would have been more active in the last 3 years. So as it is, they're already breaking that record. They're already one of the most active. Most of the groups that have stayed together actively, consistently, are rock bands. But in terms of pop groups, they are essentially the longest one now. Now, Backstreet Boys did a reunion. They're actually, I think they still are touring right now. But for the longest time, they were not together, right? They went on their separate ways. And then they decided to come back together again for a reunion. But these guys, they already are starting to break records. Uh, Essentially, the Beatles was just together for actively for 6 years, and then they decided to break up. So that in itself is already a record break. This in itself is already a record breaking run for them. Okay, let's see what are the records that they can break. I don't have anything against fictional groups, but what I do am against is comparing these fictional cartoons to real K-pop groups. It's ridiculous and disrespectful. I think they're doing it because it's the first time that they're actually able to say, they've surpassed something, or they tied something for BTS. There's never really, most of the groups that I think the only one that truly can say they surpassed something that belonged to BTS is, hmm, probably in terms of sales, just 17, and that is limited to South Korea. So, and then of course you have to consider that BTS has not been releasing anything since 2019. So 17 in terms of sales, and then Stray Kids is touring Europe, and so they're able to play on certain venues that haven't been in existence when BTS before BTS started serving in the military. So those two, but all the others, they had to manipulate things just to be able to break BTS's records. And now, so this K-pop Demon Hunters, it's really the first opportunity that they have to say that another K-pop group actually broke their records. So that's all there is to it. Um, are we talking about K-pop groups or worldwide? For this presentation, we're talking about worldwide. We're talking worldwide. Okay. So next is the first one would be, as of 2025, the groups with the most number one albums in Billboard Hot 100 would be the Beatles. Next, with 19 albums. That's pretty hard to break. And a lot of these albums were actually released after they broke up already. The Rolling Stones has 13, but they can solidify their third place if they do one more Billboard 200 number one album. So if they do one or two more, then they will have seven or eight. I wish they would include downloads and streaming equivalency when they talk about sales. Yes. And then the other thing, I guess the other thing that everyone has to remember is just the sheer growth of technology and the expansion, the globalization of music, right? Because during the Beatles, you not you don't have streaming. Everyone had to buy their albums for them to listen to it or tune into the radio, but streaming was not in existence yet. So there really is no, and then it was so limited, like technology itself. Like for example, radio, there were a lot of countries that didn't have radio at that time, or where radio is not very popular. And so it wasn't really until recently where it became popular, like music streaming became I probably more affordable for people. So there's really no way to measure it. um, but that is a consideration that we need to take when we're talking albums like Billboard 200. Like in this day and time, if the three groups actually came into existence all at the same time, whose fans will actually end up buying versus whose fans will actually end up just streaming? You have to think about that, right? But it is what it is. So it's kind of hard to do an apples to apples comparison. Sometimes, whenever they establish records, some people or some journalists would actually say, in the age of streaming, just to be able to differentiate the records that were established pre-streaming and then post-streaming era. Okay, so they can go up to two, three more if they release more albums. So they could solidify their third place and lengthen the lead from the next one. So that's the first. So I hope that happens. I'm old school. I still buy vinyls. I don't buy vinyl because I don't have any like machine to play it on. Only group to have each member sell out a stadium. So that this is people selling out a stadium is extremely difficult. A lot of acts that are actually popular in North America, they're actually having a hard time selling out arenas, getting people to move out of their house, travel, and put their butt on those seats. That takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. There's a lot of motivation for them to actually do that. And so for any artist to actually sell out an arena or a stadium, it's already a big achievement. Now, there's virtually no other group who has been able to pull this off, where each member of the group will sell out a stadium. Now, for BTS, I think it's going to be pretty easy because they have Japan. They will sell out at least one of those domes, right? Kyocera, Tokyo Dome. They'll be able to sell those out. So I think if the so it's almost like a given that that's going to happen once the group goes on to their solo activities again. It's almost a given that's going to happen. I think what is the bigger challenge is whether or not the all members will actually end up selling out a stadium in at least two continents. So North America and then Asia. So we know that J-Hope already did it. Uh, so that'll be the bigger question. Can every member sell out a stadium in at least two continents? Asia is a given because they have Japan, but what about other continents? Okay. Only armies are able to mobilize like that exactly. I think it's just more about the member, because if you would remember, Suga did say that the staff of Big Hit actually told him to do a stadium tour, and he declined because he felt like he can't sell them out. Well, he's wrong, obviously, and he admitted that he's wrong. So I think it's more about them. It's more about the member, whether or not they will actually allow themselves to go there. But I think if they decide to do it, I think armies will be there. So at least two continents for each member if they will just allow themselves to do that. Okay, so that's another one. Next, okay. Although I'm still not like thinking about their solo promotions as of now because I'm still focused on their upcoming group promotions. Okay. Now they already are the most streamed group in Spotify. So they are number 18. This is in billions. So they have 48, I think 48, no, 46 billion streams. So they are the biggest group in terms of streaming in Spotify. I think once the boys become active again, once they release something, I think armies are gonna go back to streaming again, and that'll boost them to about, I think, quite honestly, I think 60 billion is going to be easy for us. So I think that's the next step. But we do need to push it so to ensure that BTS remains the most streamed artist in Spotify. So yeah, they're at number 18. Number 1 is Drake and then Taylor Swift. A lot of people are actually surprised about this. But yeah, so Drake is 117 billion, and then Taylor Swift is 108. And would you believe this? And then Bad Bunny at 102 billion. JK will probably sell out stadiums. I can think of 2 to 3 members that will most likely sell out more than, like, effortlessly sell out more. I think all of them can for sure. I think it's just a matter of not okay. So I think all of them can sell out a stadium. I think some of them will be able to sell out more stadiums than others. So it's just and you know, I usually try to avoid saying that, but I think we're all grown-ups now, right? We just the reality that we need to face. So the reality is that some members are actually just, they attract more fans, solo fans, because of the type of music that they are releasing. Okay. um so yeah, so I think they're like 2 to 3 members, so we'll be able to sell out more, and or sell out stadiums, like fill stadiums effortlessly. Okay, next, so this is another record that they could break. They could become one of the biggest tour. They can have one of the biggest tours for a group and for an Asian act. Currently, the biggest is actually Coldplay at 810 million and counting. Okay. However, I did mention to you before that when you're thinking about money, you do need to think about the value instead of just the numbers. Okay. So, like, for example, if we just look at the number, the biggest tour already is Coldplay at 810 million. But U2 700 million happened in 2011, and money was actually worth more then, meaning the 700 million, your $1 would go farther in 2011 than it would now. Okay, so if you adjust it, this is how we usually compute things, inflation adjusted. If you adjust it, you to 700 million in 2011 would actually end up 945 million in 2025. So if you look at the true value, Q2 actually still has the biggest group. The biggest tour, sorry, the most profitable tour of all time among groups, if you adjust it for inflation. But if it's just monetary, then it is Coldplay. Now, for Guns N' Roses, they also had 584 million in 2016. If you adjust it to today's dollars, that would be 741 million in 2025. So far, these are the top ones, groups. And BTS can easily top this. Easily top this. So Bruno Mars actually, his biggest tour is 367 million. I think it's the 24K tour or something like that. So that happened in 2018. If you adjust it to today's dollars, 451 million in that would be worth 451 million 2025. I actually anticipated the question of Bang Luna, that I knew that you guys are going to ask me the size. I said they're gonna want to know the stops, how many stops did they did, what continents, and the number of concert goers. So I just ran out of time. But I was able to pull that up. It's just that I couldn't put it in a presentation, and I'll put that out next time. Um, I knew that. I was said they're gonna want to know. Okay, so but they can also be con. They can also have the biggest tour for an Asian act, not solo act, for an Asian, sorry, a BTS member or two or three has the potential of having the biggest tour for an Asian solo act. So remember, 367 million. I think this is 88 dates. 367 million in today's dollars. He ended up with 451 million in total, 2025 dollars. So if one member can actually will decide to go on a stadium tour, I think one or two members or three, I think they can break this easy. They can break this easy. Um, he had to in this tour he played some arena. Bruno Mars for 24K gold. He played some arena, and but he also played like before 100,000 crowd in his hometown in Hawaii. Let me see if I can pull it up. Okay, so he had 215 shows. This tour has 215 shows. Imagine. He played 215 times. So I'm assuming that he's very rich. 215? My gosh. So, yeah. So, but one member of BTS or two or three can easily break this record if they do decide, if they do not allow nerves to get the better of them and actually give in and do a stadium tour, they can easily sell this out. Okay, next. Selling out stadium concerts for BTS, for solo BTS act. Why speculate? Disrespectful to the artist? No, absolutely not. Why will it be disrespectful? Absolutely not. And they can. One member already sold out a stadium, remember? Just one member already sold out a stadium. The other thing that they can do, and I believe they're already preparing something like this. I have no evidence, it's just a gut feel, is that they can actually bring Begins Youth to a Broadway show, because they already have all the songs in place, right? So if someone can actually arrange the story and arrange the song, they can actually do a tour and then eventually end up in Broadway. So this is the same thing for like a level up version. I don't know if you've seen the Jersey Boys, the show The Jersey Boys. This is the story of Four Seasons. I think the group's name is Four Season. Uh, what's his name? I'm not sure the guys want to go on a tour that long, just on their own. Shorter tours like August DJ, Hope Jin, sure, but I think that they would be bored and lonely for 200. I don't want them to do 200 and I don't think they would need 200 shows to be able to top that record. Okay, let's do. So this the Jersey Boys is based on the Four Seasons. I'm right. So Frankie Valli, yes. So the Frankie Valli is the lead singer of the Four Seasons, and then eventually the group broke up, but he remained. So Frankie Valli basically became the a solo act. I don't know if you've seen that the play, but it is, oh my gosh, if you ever get a chance, please watch it because it's so good, it's so good. And so it was basically his story on how he became one of the best and most popular and most successful vocalists of all time, coming from the hood and all of those stuff. And then they used the song to sort of become the narrative, the tie that binds the entire narrative together. They can do something like that with Begins Youth, and I hope that they actually end up doing it because the story in itself has a lot of potential. If you're going to go, if and I feel like it's so rich that it deserves to be told. Like, more people should know about this story. Hamilton sized theaters are not big enough to bring in ticket prices required for our seven. I'm sure. I'm sure if they ever do this. But don't you think, I think that is going to further level up, aside from the fact that it's going to bring in a lot of money. I also think that it's just also going to level up the prestige or the reputation of the music of BTS, because that's going to further solidify the fact that they are not just a boy band, not an ordinary boy band, that their songs actually have a narrative. It's one great way of actually communicating the substance behind the song. So I hope they do it. Um, and I think they are eventually going to do it. It's just a matter of time. But you can see, if you ever get a chance to watch Jersey Boys, that is a great example on how they use the music, the songs of Four Seasons, and then eventually Frankie Valley to tie and tell the story, and to tie the entire thing. Now this one, because the advantage of the most beautiful moment in life is that the songs that they released really, it tells the story of the most beautiful moment in life. So it's going to be easier, so they will be able to reach way more critics in this way, right? Because there's going to be a lot of like theater reviewers and whatever, and it's just a great way to start a conversation among critics. And I think for me, just personally, I just want a clear path towards uh, a more mainstream recognition of the quality of their songs. They absolutely do not need it. They don't need any kind of recognition at this stage in their career. And I don't think they want it. I don't think they're specifically interested about it. I think their interest is just to be able to do great music and to be able to spend time with armies. I don't know. But it has always been about like legends like the Beatles, Michael Jackson. Usually, the recognition of their genius happens after their peak, right? Usually, they're relegated. For the Beatles, for example, they were known as a boy band before before all of this recognition or whatever. They were just called a boy band, and then things happened, and then eventually people kind of realized, oh my god, the quality of the music that they're releasing and whatever. But all those happened after. So I'm anticipating the same thing for BTS, like the changes that they're bringing in the global music industry is going to be felt years after their peak. But it would be nice to have a clear path towards that. And I think staging a play using the music would be a great conversation starter for other people to realize that, oh, okay, it wasn't just about pink hair and purple hair and whatever. It actually has substance, because right now, a lot of people are talking about it, but there's still a lot of mainstream media and critics that are pushing back. Okay. um Mick Jagger's daughter was on Jersey Boys. Oh, really? uh I do think so, though not at the pace they were going before. All right. Okay, so that's one. They have a chance to be the first to do it this way if they ever do that. Oh, just a warning. Stray Kids actually said that they are going to release something like this. That their songs, that JYP is planning to, I don't know, a drama maybe, that will be also based on their songs. But I don't know if it's going to be a play. Okay. I'm still waiting for Begins Youth season 2. So am I. I have more questions after that, after the last one, after the last episodes than answer. And then the other thing is RM can actually end up becoming the biggest alternative artist in the world. So I was in a conversation with several like music critics and journalists over the last several weeks, and I've been asking them like who is usually considered the biggest alternative act in the world, or at least some of the biggest alternative act. And they were like, Red Hot Chili Peppers, they said, REM. There's another one that they mentioned, but they said those people are maybe considered like some of the biggest alternative act. Now, I may not necessarily agree, but you know, they said that those are the ones that are usually considered an alternative act. I think if RM decides to do more mainstream promotion for his alternative music, I think he can become the biggest alternative artist in the world of all time in terms of sales and, of course, in terms of influence as well. So I don't know if you guys will agree that it's actually like REM would be considered an alternative act. There's another one, Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've always thought they're like a rock band, but they said nah, they're actually considered an alternative act. But yeah, so I hope that if he actually decides to do mainstream promotion, the only thing about RM is that I'm actually not sure if he's even interested in bringing his that type of music mainstream, or maybe he is, right? I don't know. I think it's just that he comes across, to me at least, I feel like he's more interested in creating quality music and sort of spreading that, and not necessarily go after mainstream acceptance. I could be wrong, but that's just an explanation, a speculation. But if he does decide to do mainstream promotion, I think he can become the biggest alternative artist in the world. um 1990s, there's got to be contemporary alternative. Yes. So she did mention, and I disagree. So one of the reporters that I spoke with mentioned Billie Eilish, or Eilish. She said, yeah, she's considered alternative. And I'm like, nah. But she was, no, he's just considered alternative. So she is, she's the one. She was mentioned twice by two different sorry, once by two different by two different journalists that I've spoken with. They said Billie Eilish, and it's like probably because of how she started in, was it YouTube or something? She was discovered there, but I don't think that her music necessarily is currently alternative. Dodger Girl is saying, yep, Billie is actually alternative. um Hi, Carla girl. She just got into her staycation. Someone was asking alternative. So there are certain genres that you would consider to be mainstream, like popular music, right? There's, there's dance, there's disco, there's rock and whatever. Alternative are usually songs that don't fall into any of those categories. Like if you listen to it, you're not quite sure what kind of genre that is. A little out of the box. Yeah. So yes, so it can be a broad term. And okay, so Georgia said yes, Billy is alternative. Okay. So I guess they're right. But yeah, that's what they said. Because I was asking, like, because I've always wondered, especially after RPWP, I kind of realized why RM specifically dropped the meaning of RM. He said that he doesn't want to be pinned to just rap. And when he released that album, I realized why. I was like, oh my God, he is right. He is not just like, he's not just rap. He's not even pop. Like, he's just, there's just he's just wired differently. So, yeah. Bang Luna said that I think RM is more indie. RM most likely just do small venues so he could interact with fans. Okay. All right. So that is, you're welcome, Viv. Okay. So next, there are the Mune said that there are different types of alternative. Could be alt rock, alternative pop, etc. Okay, they can also, currently they have two songs, and they're the only act to have it. They have two songs that may be considered non-English song that ended up at number one in Billboard Hot 100. One is Life Goes On, and then the other one is My Universe. Although My Universe is, I think, at least 55% English, and then the rest is in Korean. But for the most part, it is still considered a non-English song. If they release another song, a non-English song, and it ends up in number one of Billboard Hot 100, they will extend their record. Right now, no other act has filled it in more than one Billboard Hot 100 non-English song. So, and this two songs does not even include Jimin's, because that's just his own song. So, yeah. So right now, BTS has two, My Universe and Life Goes On. If they do another one, if they release another one, and we're able to actually push it to number one, then they will extend their record as the only act to stick a number one in Billboard Hot 100 for a non-English song. So I hope they do it. And I hope that we stream, because we all need to do that too. Okay, and then they can also pull in the biggest crowd for an Asian act for a single solo concert. Right now, I've been hearing that some people are discussing whether they can do 360, that they're already looking for spaces outside of the usual, like really open field to get more audience into their concerts. Now, those are just rumors, just, word on the street. I'm not sure if that is right, but I do believe that one of the things that, and this is pure speculation, I think one of the things that they would want to do is to try and get bigger venues for their next concert, because I think they know that after that it's going to take some time again for them to come together again for a tour, because they're going to do their solo activities after that. And then who knows what's going to happen, right? Maybe someone's going to become an actor, or someone's going to be so immersed in their businesses, we don't know what's going to happen, or get married, or just decide to just have a vacation or whatever. So I think they're fully aware that they need to make the most out of it and meet as many armies as they can, because after that it's going to take some time before they actually come back together again. Okay, I think for their next album, the album, most of the songs will be top 10, if not take turns at number one. Okay, Evie. Okay, the Sphere in LV would be awesome for BTS. Who has been to the Sphere? Don't you get dizzy? I haven't been. I haven't been to the Sphere. I've seen it from outside, and I've seen pictures of it inside. And I was just wondering, like, am I gonna get dizzy with this one? Okay, but it's too small though. It's too small for them. Okay. Next is that they can, so the biggest record, the biggest crowd ever pulled by an act is 3.5 million, they said, and it is Rod Stewart's New York concert in Brazil. He pulled in 3.5 million attendees. I'm not sure if that's right. They're saying that is right, and I'm like, 3.5 million. It's like bigger than, like, that's a city. Right? But they said it is right. It is actually what happened. 3.5 million. Um, so if they do, if so, I number one, I think it's way too dangerous to do this now. I think I'm going to be very, very nervous. I will still, if they do something like this, I'll probably will try to go, but I won't even like hope to get close to the stage. I would just want to be a part of the event. It's just too big. So that's his crowd. They said 3.5 million. And that happened in 1994. I do think it was free. I think it was free. Now for a group, thank you, Supreme Empress. Thank you so much. Is that for Dabak? he's I'm pretty sure he's gonna join me in a bit. Now I don't know if I was able to include it here, but the biggest is, did I include it here? Oh, okay, no. So for the biggest group, biggest crowd for a group, it was actually YouTube, and it was 150,000, and that was, let me see, Aeroporto de Regio Emilia. Did I say that right? So 150,000. So here, I'll share this so you can see how the crowd looks like there. See that? So that's how their how big their crowd was, and yeah, Aeroporto de Regio Emilia. Did I pronounce that correctly? So 150,000. So this I'm pretty sure they can pull even more than this. I think this is easy, but the question is whether or not they would want to do it. If you pull in this big of a crowd, it's really dangerous, and safety is going to be a huge concern. But who knows, right? But yeah, so those are the records that they are at the brink of actually achieving or surpassing or breaking. Okay, Alice in Chains. You two in their heyday was spectacular. They still are spectacular. That looked very scary. Okay, let's look at some of the. Thank you again, Supreme Empress. They didn't sell tickets, so they don't really know. It's the same with RS in Brazil. Uh, yeah, so that's what I heard, that they did not sell the tickets. So people were like, you don't know for sure because they didn't sell the tickets. And I think for me, like physically, it's just what I'm like, is it even possible? 3.5 million. If I don't know if that's even possible, but that's what they said, 3.5 million. Levi Stadium, 68,500. That's small. For BTS, that's going to be very small. I mean, any truth that the organizers of Coachella are begging BTS to play him for 2026? I don't know. I've heard that they're asking BTS to come, especially after the show of J Hope. I just don't know. If they do decide that, of course, I'm going to be totally supportive. And I will try to go, even though I hate festivals. I will definitely go. I will try to just set aside money so that I can get those, yeah, like those stupidly expensive tickets for Coachella that gives you VIP or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, I will totally be supportive. It's just that I feel like if they do Coachella will benefit more than they will. Unless Coachella is going to set up like a special week for them, right? That's the only way I feel it's going to be beneficial for them. And at this stage, I kind of just want, like, just do their thing. I think they've gotten to a point where they really don't need anybody. So yeah. Yeah, I've heard about it, but I can't confirm. These are all just street talking, so I'm not sure. All right, let's look at other comments. Coachella is small. Fries for BTS too small. Yeah, I agree. Very, very small. Glastonbury, maybe. Does anybody know that how that festival works? That's UK, right? Glastonbury. I remember because I'm a huge fan of Oasis, and they keep on mentioning that. And I also run out of tickets for Oasis. I was like, oh my god, I need to get tickets because I don't know when they're going to be touring again. Probably never, right? But yeah, just I love them, but I wouldn't go to Coachella. It looks insane. It's absolutely insane. I've heard, like, so there's a lot of, it's really the people that go there, those are really just the influencers trying to take pictures and all. So I heard it's like 2 days of them just inhaling sand and dirt. I'm like, why do I want to go there? And then you're walking from one stage to another, you're rushing, and you can never get the right like space. Or if you want to do the barricade, you make sure that you're just only in one stage or whatever, which probably is not bad. Like if it is BTS, then people are just going to wait in the stage where BTS is going to perform the whole day, right? But for me, it's just that I don't see the benefit for BTS anymore. It'll be more beneficial for Coachella than it is for BTS. As I've said, unless Coachella is going to do a special and it's just going to be BTS. Like one thing that I can think of is that they give each of the member a day, and then the last day would be um, all members. Although that's going to be really, really, really tiring for BTS because you're essentially rehearsing for two shows, and one show you're just going to be doing once, something like that. But but that's the only way I feel it's gonna work. Each member has their own stage or their own day, and then it culminates with the seven of them performing together. Maybe that, that at least that's history making, right? Okay. I don't think festivals make sense for them anymore as a full group. The band would be giving away way too much income in exchange for a lot of work. Yeah, that's another thing because they're not going to be earning a lot. They're really not paid that much. And the problem with BTS is that they're not like other artists that would take, because they usually get paid. It's just that they get paid a fixed fee, and that fee already includes you working on your stage design, your tour. So they'll give you, for example, they'll I think for if I'm not mistaken, I think for Beyonce, they gave her either 3.5 or 5.5. But because Beyonce didn't want to compromise in terms of the quality of the performance, the number of backup dancers she was going to have, like the production design, the costumes, and all, she actually ended up spending her own money just to make sure that she gets the kind of performance and stage that she wants to deliver. So if it is BTS, how much are you going to get make how much are you going to give BTS for each member to have something significant to take home? Right? You have to give them like 14 million. Then each of them will get 1 million each or something like that. And then the rest goes to production. But so yeah, that's another thing. Like I feel like they don't need it. They have enough money they can ever hope to spend for their entire life. But I still want to make sure that they earn a lot because they deserve it. So I could see them doing a festive so that they can check it off their list of things to top artists. The maybe their own, maybe their own. Supreme Express. I thought BTS would break the internet in the live. I think they will once things are a little bit more formal. There's really a lot of confusion as to how they're doing things right now. A lot of people anticipated that they're going to do a formal live right after the discharge of Suga, but Suga didn't even appear. Like he didn't appear publicly after his discharge. And now he's not doing any kind of live stream. He's not participating a lot in live streams, although we know that he's working. So there's like, we don't know what's going on in their head, but I feel like at this stage, they kind of just are very focused on just creating them. And this is what they've been saying. Like they want to just concentrate in creating their next album, making their music, working on it. And I'm sure that they have other schedules. They have like brand endorsements, like brand shoots and whatever. So yeah, but they will break it. I would attend the BTS only festival. I will too. Yes, BTS own festival. I'm telling you, they need to do small venues like the O2, smaller seating, and BTS will want to see them. That means they will get paid more. Oh, you mean just more expensive tickets? Seda, he went where his indigenous girlfriend lives in their own reserve. I forgot where. Beyonce needed a publicity from doing the festival, so out of place. No, he was at the peak of his career. She was at the peak of his career when she did the Coachella. I think she just wanted to make history with Coachella. That's why she decided to spend her own money. Uh, I don't quite remember if it was 3.5 or 5.5 that they gave her. Okay. All right. So who needs more BTS Festa? Yes, Las Vegas residency for a year. I'm a lot of people don't hear what I'm saying. I'm saying semi residency is what I want, not like a full blown residency. And when I say semi residency, you just stay in one place for a longer period of time, like maybe 2 months or 3 months. That will allow BTS, but I still want them to travel. I still want them to do a tour because there are some people who will just simply not be able to afford going to one traveling to one place. But I feel like one advantages of the many advantages of doing a residency is that they can establish a routine, right? So if they know that they're going to have a show Monday, Friday, or sorry, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then the rest of the days they're not going to be busy traveling from one place to another. They're just in one place. So that kind of gives them the opportunity to like do a routine and then to have a routine and work on other things. And then for armies, for example, if they do it in a place like Las Vegas, that's already fully set up to for a thing like that. So arrangement is going to be easier. Going to that place, going to that, like in Las Vegas, you can practically walk to the venue, wherever that may be, right? Wherever you are checked in, for as long as you're not checked in outside of Vegas. But it's easier. Like accessing the venue will be easier for them. Okay, residency like Bad Bunny in Puerto Rico. Coachella really isn't worth it for BTS. It is not worth it. It's not worth it for BTS. Okay. Um, where is that? Look at those doe eyes. I really love those doe eyes. I wasn't able to finish my news and updates, so this is very short. But I just thought I'd still do it because it's all Jungkook. A lot of photos of Jungkook. This is your emotional picture support. So there you go. His doe eyes. Look at those eyes. So cute, right? And then another set of doe eyes. Those doe eyes. He just looks so young. He looks like a 13-year-old boy, like an 11-year-old boy. He looks like he did not grow up. And he remained like a 10-year-old boy. Oh my God, he's so cute. Our youngest is so cute. How long was Adele in Vegas? 9 months? I think 9 months. Okay, so look at those eyes. If I leave it there, you're going to be totally happy, right? Look at those pictures. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, I want to pinch his cheeks. And then this is their live from today. They were both in the car, headed somewhere. We don't know where. But they did say that they had schedules in the next like several days. They did say that the only free time that they have is usually weekends, 1 or 2 days in a week. So I'm assuming that this is where they're going to go somewhere. I don't know, maybe lunch. I have no idea. But they're just so cute. And the bonus is that people couldn't translate anything because they didn't hear anything. People were just really watching them. People was just watching them. Okay, so I thought I'd give you two contrasts: the dark side of Namjoon and the angelic side of Jimin. Some of the best photos of RM that I've seen is when he is just disheveled. When he's not so put together. I absolutely love how he looks. Te and his tight sweaters. I know, right? Look at that. So apparently he's really lifting weights. At least that's what I got from the live stream. I think Jungkook and RM said that they couldn't even finish the sets that V was actually doing. So yeah, so a friend of mine, the same friend that translated AYS for me, he's been translating it, but in parts because he has other things to do in his life with his life. So he would usually just send it to me in parts, like, oh, this scene and to up until here, this is what they actually talked about. So apparently they mentioned that RM and JK actually mentioned it, that they cannot match the set that V is actually doing. Okay. The pic of RM is amazing. I know, right? I told you, I one of some of the best pictures I've seen of him is when he's just disheveled or tired. There's something about the when his guards are down that makes him look handsome and respectable and like very mysteriously attractive. Yeah. Okay, they got their ears re-pierced. They did. And I think there is some like that live stream of Jimin and Jungkook, the first one, is so fun. So yeah, so the but as I've said, my friends just actually sending it to me in parts, but it was really really fun. Like the two, there's just because one of the advantages of him doing the translation for me is that he actually gives me the contextual explanation, and if there's anything cultural behind what they said, he would actually explain it to me. But yeah, no, you just love that. But according to his translation, he said like these two are just they're like that military 18 months like brought them together like no other. Like even he said, and he is Korean, and this is the same guy that I've spoken with you about. He has a group of friends. All of that friends actually moved to the US, so they're all together here now. They've been friends since they were in preschool, so they're very, very, very close. And even he's saying like the closeness of these two is just different. They're just whatever. I think that he thinks that the military actually made them closer together. RM in turtleneck. Okay, the new boy group of Big Hit is going to debut on August 18. Now there's a date, August 18. So these are the members, and they don't have positions. They don't have positions. So they don't have a main singer, main whatever, main dancer, lead singer, whatever. Uh, because according to the press release, all of them can do everything, and so they don't feel the need to give any position to anybody, so they're just going to do it together. They will also become self-produced like BTS, so they'll be writing their, and I guess like TXT as well. They'll be writing their own music, producing their own music, so I'm excited actually to hear what they're going to be offering. So let's see. 2009, 2009, these are the years when they were born. So 2009, 2009, 2005, 2006, and 2008. So I guess 2005, James is the eldest, and he was one of the members of Group A, the one that disbanded because of some whatever. Okay, and then Martin, I think so. All of them, allegedly, all of them already started writing for other groups in Big Hit and Hype. Sorry, not Big Hit, but also in Hype. So they've been, so the training that they provided this set is not just as an idol but also as creators. um, 2009, 2008, 2005. I feel old as an older Gen Z. I know, right? Like, I can't imagine that somebody who was born in 2000 is already 25 years old. Like, oh my God, that's just like already an adult, born in 2000 and already an adult. Okay, makes us all feel old, so young, very, very young. I have shoes older than them. I have shirts older than them. Um, call me Ajuma. Holmoni. Call me Holmoni. I'm already a Holmoni anyway because I have a grandchild already, and I think I have a great grandchild. Let me see. Wait. So the s- the child of my cousin would be my grandchild, right? And so that person has a child already. So I guess I am a great grandma. Young, yeah, they're very very young. Okay, but I'm excited. I want to hear what they have to offer. Let's see. There's so much hype. I mean, they did. in all fairness to Big Hit, they did a very good job at pre-marketing this boys. They've been releasing like teasers and stolen shots and leak photos for the longest time. So they did a really good job marketing this group. Kang Daniel, this guy has been through so much, but he has a show and he has a tour and it's going to be 12 cities in the US. I want to support him just because he's been through a lot. So he has San Jose, Los Angeles, Phoenix, San Antonio, Dallas, Kansas, Chicago, Indianapolis, Columbus, New York, Washington, and Charlotte. Supreme Express said, I'm worried about the unrest in the US will turn them off. It's a little chaotic in LA. Am I worried for nothing? Will they still love USA? It's not chaotic. I live here. And I am very, very close to downtown where usually the chaos happens. So no, I keep on saying this even in Patreon. I'm a very, very visible person of color. I'm Asian. I have an accent. So if they really are on the hunt for just anybody, then I think I'm going to be one of the first targets. And that has not happened yet. No, I mean, it's no different than any other city. It's not there are crimes, of course. It's not like a perfect zero crime rate kind of city. But yeah, they'll be able to, yes. Especially because they have security. They go from one place to another in a tinted black car, so they'll be safe. The thing is, I always like men slightly older. Okay. All right. Your cousin's child, your nephew, you are an aunt. So my cousin's child, when she has a kid, when my nephew has a kid, when my niece has a kid, that's my grandchild, right? Okay, so I'm a grandma because my niece has, how many nieces do I have that already has a child? Two, three, three from my cousin. Okay. Fairlane, I worry about you. Please be careful. Thank you very much. Thank you. But it's fine. I walk around. I'm good. I walk around freely, almost every day. Almost every day. Okay. All right. So if you can, please support him. My heart goes out for this guy because he's been through so much. Just that thing that happened. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what happened. So after the reality show where they formed a temporary group, so he was the number one, the most popular one in that group. He actually created his own agency and he managed himself, and he was doing really, really well. He was touring, he was really, the music that he was releasing, they were actually good. And then one day it just came out in the news that he was suing his business partner and the majority owner of the agency that he created. So apparently he wasn't the majority owner. He was a CEO, but he wasn't the majority owner. And that person, the majority owner, was actually spending his own money, meaning Kang Daniel's money, and he lost like $3.5 million or something. And then he was left with debts and all of those things. And so and the thing is that they signed other artists. And so Kang Daniel, such a nice guy, he made sure that he actually released everybody from their contract before he started his battle against the majority shareholder. So right now I think they're still battling it out in court, but at least he's moving on, and I feel like he deserves his chance. So I hope that it actually happens to him. Okay. um Fairlane is right. I live in LA, and many people who don't follow the news are blissfully unaware about it. Yeah, I walk around every day. I have a dog, so it's just a lot of the things that you see, because that's how media sells, right? They exaggerate things. There are a lot of crimes. I'm not going to take that away. That definitely, but it's the same thing if they go to Mexico. There's also a lot of crimes. If they go to the Philippines, also a lot of crimes. So, you know. Okay. That's what is so wrong with the world. Too many greedy people stealing from others. Yuju from G Friends signed with him. He had to let her go, I think. Yes. So I mean, he's a good guy. He made sure that he releases everybody before he started waging that war against the majority shareholder. But I feel like he was actually the ex-boyfriend. Well, they were open about their relationship. He was the ex-boyfriend of what's this, Gio, of the leader of Twice. So, but I think they broke up already or something like that. That's actually one of the reasons I started getting interested in it, was because Gio is my bias in Twice. So I started listening to his songs and whatever. And he was a nice guy. And he's really good, also really good. So I hope that he recovers. And I think this is part of his efforts to recover from what happened to him. And I really wish him the best. So if you can, please support him. I will try to go. Ice is everyone. Why are we talking about ice? Okay, let's talk about something else. You know what's a better topic? Bang Shio. This a better topic than ice. Okay. Um, the boys are not old. Everyone is treating them like old men. They just have changed up things. Plus, their fans are growing up too. They're not. Oh yeah, they're still, especially in the U.S. They will be considered like boys. Uh, and also they look, I guess it comes with our DNA, but they look very very young. They can pass for like teenagers. I guarantee you, if they go into a bar and the security doesn't know them, they will be asked for their ID because they look so young. They look so young. Okay, Bang Shiyuk is the creator of BTS, correct? So he actually is a more interesting topic. Wait, before we go to this guy, do you have any questions? BTS has gained many armies that are 45 and up. Oh yeah, and I think that has been in the works even before COVID. Even before COVID started, they just started attracting more an older audience, and I think that is all because of the quality of the music that they are releasing. One of the things, and this is my theory and my speculation. I have no proof, but as I was thinking about it, I'm like, they BTS has a huge share of like 35 and up age group as fans. I was thinking, like, why are they starting? And many of these fans actually started late in supporting them, right? So they were already in their 30s when they started supporting BTS. And I think it's all because of the quality of the music. They're for you to fully appreciate BTS's songs and music, you actually have to bother to try and understand the narrative. That's the only way you will fully understand and appreciate the quality of their music. This is not one of those pop stars that you listen to once or thrice and you can kind of get what the music is saying. Um, they don't do superficial trendy kind of lyrics. It's not just about provocation of any issue, not about sex or sexy things, not about, there's always substance in the music that they release. And the only way, as I've mentioned, for you to really appreciate that is if you will bother to sit down and actually understand what it is that they are saying. And a lot of the younger ones, the younger audience, they're not into that. If you would remember, Tablo said that one of the A&R, one of the guidance, when he was given like a list of things that he needs to do to make sure that he actually comes up with a hit, is that it has to be superficial lyrics, repetitive, short, not a lot of complex concepts or complex meaning in the song because people don't want to be bothered to try and understand the song. That's the generation that we're, and of course very short, so that is the generation that we're working with right now. And so, but that is not consistent with the style of BTS likes complex messages, they like complex expressions, they use classic literature as a reference or as a starting point for their narratives. So you need to have that in you to actually want to understand, to sit down, to treat their art as a educational platform, so to speak. you have to spend time to try and understand the lyrics. That is the only way you will truly appreciate what BTS is. And that is not consistent with the younger market. That's more consistent with the older market. That's why they attract a lot of older segments in the market, because that it is a given in the kind of song and music that they release. And then the other thing is that it isn't a one off. Like young performers nowadays, they come up with a song, it's a hit, move on. BTS consistently carries on their narrative, right? So who has the patience for that? People can't even be bothered to go to the cinema for a 2 hour movie, let alone actually follow an entire narrative that spans three comebacks, or in BTS's case, their 10-year career. Who has the patience for that? Only the ones that have in them to actually like that kind of art, where it's complex, a lot of exploration, there's a lot of discussion, a lot of research involved. And so I think that's why they attract a bigger segment of the older market. Their art lends to it. Okay. So I agree, the depth of their lyrics and the quality of their music and the dance have reached older audiences. Yeah. Okay, let's go to Bang Shiyo. And then I will end with K-pop, Demon Hunters, so that it's lighter. We're not ending with this. But before I proceed with this, just want to remind everybody that I'm not doing it because I want us to obsess over the case. Quite the opposite. I want us to just be in the know and get it over with, and then move on to what matters more, and that is the music of BTS and other artists that we talk about. So don't I hope that you guys won't bother answering people, the haters trying to say something bad about Bang Shiyuk. Just let them be for as long as we are informed about what is happening. Okay, so the finance department actually decided to forward the case of Bang Shiyuk to the prosecutor's office. And as I've discussed last time, that doesn't mean automatically that he's going to be indicted. Indicted meaning a case is going to be filed against him. It is simply saying that the recommendation of the commission is that he be sued. It will still be up to the prosecutor's office to decide whether or not he will be indicted. And that means they will still conduct their investigation. And if they feel that they have enough cause, then they will sue. Okay, well, that really depends on them, whatever their reasoning may be. So, whatever I'm going to be discussing, I got from this website. So, just in case you want to see where the source material, you can go to that website. I'll paste it in the description box as well. Okay, so all of that is here. It is translated in English, and then there's also a Korean version. It's a longer one, and then there are several attachments. All right. So the case is all about Bang Shiyuk not informing the stockholders before IPO, pre-IPO. They're insisting that Bang Shiyuk did not inform the stakeholders or the shareholders of the company about his plans to go public. All right. Now, that is false, because he did recommend to the shareholders to sell their shares in three separate occasions. And that was driven by the fact that he was trying to do the IPO, but he kept on failing. So he made several attempts of going public before he was actually able to go public. And so while he was trying to do it, he kept on advising people to sell their shares because he's not sure if he will be able to go public. Therefore, he's not sure if they will make their money back. And so he was saying, I'm trying, I'm failing, you might want to sell. Okay, so three separate occasions: October 2018, June 2019, and November 2019. Okay, those are the three failed IPOs. So, October 2018, the IPO was delayed approximately 2 years. 2 years, it was delayed 2 years. They started it 2018, and then ended it at 2020. And they, during somewhere in this date, somewhere they're not clear as to when he actually warned the stakeholders to sell their shares, but somewhere in this date, Bang Shiyuk, informed the stakeholders you might want to sell because I'm not sure what's going to happen. Okay, so that's the first instance. Second instance, June 2019. In the 2019 agreement, okay, in the 2019 agreement, it did not contain the 30% profit sharing clause for Bang Shiyuk. Remember that this case is banking on Bang Shiyuk not informing the stakeholders that he was going to go IPO, that he was going to go public, and that he was going to take 30% of the profit if the IPO was successful. But in the second attempt, when they attempted the second time to go public, he had no 30%. Instead, so he wasn't going to get the 30%. Instead, he signed a contract that left him shouldering the risk of having to buy the private equity stake at a higher price if the IPO failed. Okay, so just for example, if Ray Aviles is one of the private stakeholders, so she was one of the shareholders of the company, and I am Bang Shiyuk. So you initially bought your share. This is just an example for $100, 100 US dollars. Now, if we go IPO, that's going to go up, right? Because we're going to go public. However, it keeps on failing. So what Bang Shiyuk did was include in the agreement that if the IPO fails, that means the shareholders will not get their money back. He will buy all the shares if they want. Like I will buy them at a higher price. So he's taking in all the risks. Okay, so that's what happened in the second attempt. Now he did a third attempt. A third attempt. In that third attempt, they included a contract allocation of 30% of the sale profit to Bang Shiyuk with the put option. So he still did not remove that option that he will buy the shares of the shareholders if the IPO fails. It's still there. But he also included now, they already included a 30% profit going to Bang Shiyuk when they do a successful IPO. Now, it still failed in that it was delayed. So they were working on it for 1 year before it actually happened. So nobody lost their money, everybody moved on, and now they're starting to become happy because HYBE is on its way to its all-time high. Now, at that time, what was happening was that HYBE was struggling to attract external investors to buy out the shares. So they were looking for an investor that would go, okay, buy the shares of this shareholders if the IPO fails. Just buy them. We'll include it in the contract that they can sell it to you for a set price. So if you bought it, for example, if from Cali with Love bought the share for $100 and the IPO fails, the share goes, this is just an example, goes $50, but the contract states you still need to buy it for $150. They couldn't find anybody that would do that. Okay, so what ended up happening was that they formed SPC, Special Purpose Committee, formed by HYBE. Executives stepped in as the acquirer. So, and that includes Bang Shiyuk. So they said, the executive said, okay, we're going to buy it because we couldn't find anybody that will do it. We will be the ones to buy it at a set price if the stock actually goes down. So that's what happened. All right. And this has already been documented even before. Now, as I've said, HYBE'S IPO was delayed by several months, primarily because of COVID. COVID happened. Okay. On July 16, 2025, this is just yesterday, today for us, the Securities and Futures Commission accused HYBE again. They accused, but they also confirmed that Bang Shiyuk only indicated that the listing could be delayed. So they are acknowledging that according to the documents that they got and according to their investigation, what he told the shareholders is that the listing, the IPO could be delayed. But he did not say that he's not going to go IPO. And in fact, they also acknowledged that Bang Shiyuk took in all the risk that he promised, and it was in a form of a document, and it was signed on the dotted line that if the stock falls, he will still buy the shares at a predetermined price. Okay. Now, the argument of the prosecutor, of this commission, is that it isn't about whether or not they informed the stakeholders. It is about the fact that some stakeholders sold their shares when they could have waited and they could have sold more. Now that's what they're saying. Okay. So who is now bent out of shape when they decided to sell instead of trusting in the company? Okay. So now they're just after the new president took office. When the new president took office, they instituted the financial authorities one strikeout system, meaning it only takes one offense. If you are proven guilty for one offense, no more mercy. You're going to be sentenced to death or whatever that may be. Now, in the document, that same document that they released, the financial commission released, it says that this does not apply to Bang Shiyuk, even if he is proven guilty, because his case happened before this rule was instituted. So all those headlines about him getting a death penalty, getting lifetime imprisonment, that's not true, because this does not fall under that rule, under that category. Okay. So that is what happened. What is, however, crazy to me, outside of what's going on in Bang Shiok, as you would remember, Min Hee-jin has been, the police decided not to indict Min Hee-jin based on the initial complaint of HYBE. So she's celebrating. She posted on IG. Chatter is starting in different social media. But I, for one, think that it is absolutely crazy that all of this actually started with Min Hee-jin versus Adore and HYBE. And now, if she does manage to get away from it all, walk free, the only ones that are in trouble is New Jeans. When they did not start this, they were they were so successful. That was happening. They were good, they were successful, they were breaking records, and now the woman who started it all is most she has a chance of walking, while they will need to move mountains in order to go back to where they are. It's just absolutely mental that that happened. Okay. Next. Bunny's fantasies are weird. It's still a huge gigantic civil case. Yes, it is a huge gigantic civil case. Now, don't you think it is crazy that now it is actually Min Hee-jin is she has a chance of walking away free. All right. So and then New Jeans is just they have to move mountains in order to go back to where they were. Now, based on the decision of the police, HYBE released a statement stating that they are going to appeal that. And then they also explained several things. So this is the translation of the letter. That's where I got it. I will put it in the description box just in case you guys want to read it yourself. Okay. Now, some of the major points of this statement. Number one, they said HYBE plans to appeal the prosecution regarding the breach of trust case, because when they filed it, there were a lot of things that they didn't have yet, a lot of evidence that they didn't have that is now in their possession, and it would be easy for them to actually submit that, and they are convinced that they will be able to prove that there was a breach of trust. So they will appeal. That's for sure. I said new developments occurred after the investigation and multiple pieces of evidence have been submitted. Okay. Next, the next major thing based on that release is that a decision of no charges was made for HYBE executives, including 5 executives and staff from affiliated companies. If you would remember, Min Hee-jin sued different executives from HYBE of libel, of defamation, and all of those were dismissed, they said. So nothing happened to that case. The court found no fault, and so nothing. All right. So they're safe. The executives are safe. Um, this is major. Number three is major because investigative authorities or the police acknowledge that the way that they acquired the cacao messages, the ever controversial cacao messages, it was actually legal. It was legit. And so because of that, they can actually go to the court and say, look, even the police agrees that the way we acquire this cacao text messages, it's legal. So they can use those messages against her in court. Okay. Um, Now, this, if you would remember, she filed this case against the executives of Adore and Hybe back in 2004. So she dragged everybody, and then the case was dismissed. Now, the other thing is, so this is the one part of the translation of the post. Hybe's claim could not be regarded as false, were in public interest, and therefore not made with malicious intent, and that the Kakao Talk messages, it's here, were lawfully obtained during the audit process. So the court is saying, yeah, that's all good. The way that they got it, that's all good. It's admissible in court. Okay. The other thing is, oh yeah. So Hybe also called Team Bunny as an accomplice of Min Hee Jin. They said that Min Hee Jin and her camp or something like that. Um, so it seems that they are alluding to them having some proof that whoever is running this Talkies account, this big accounts of Talkies, they're actually directly related or connected to Min Hee Jin. So let's see if they will actually drag this Twitter, those social media accounts. Okay. She has money for all the lawsuits. Well, I don't know how deep is her pockets unless someone is actually helping her. So these are some of the text messages that they found, and that says, so this is her, and this is her as well. I heard you say that you just pretended not to know and want know. So small. Wait a minute. Maybe I can. Where is that? Okay, so on the left side is one of the most more scathing comments that she made was actually about wait a minute, make I will make this larger. Uh okay, so she told about, so this statement is actually about New Jeans. She said that what do they know? It makes me dizzy to see them looking in the mirror and thinking about dancing. Is this work? It's disgusting. It feels like I'm ordering a man to do something good. It's a waste to feed those reckless kids. She's talking about New Jeans. And then on the right side with the yellow messages, um, this was her conversation with Hanny. And if you would remember, Hanny was saying that she actually didn't know for sure, like she doesn't exactly remember what the manager told her. And Min Hee Jin was actually leading her to say that that the manager instructed I'll It members to ignore her. So in this entire conversation, this is Hanny saying, I don't really remember the exact words. And then she went on to say, um, I first greeted the group. So this is Hanny. I first greeted the group and they came back out 5 to 10 minutes later. The manager told them to pretend not to see me and ignore me. When in fact, that wasn't what she said originally. She said they greeted me. They looked stiff and uncomfortable. I totally get what they're feeling awkward. There's so much competition in the media and in the workplace. I really get it. I really don't care about them at all. If you're worried about that, don't worry about it. So this is Hanny talking to Min Hee Jin. And then somehow the narrative changed, and then it was Hanny saying, I first greeted the girl group members and they came back 5 to 10 minutes later. The manager told the members to not see me and ignore me. So she was prying. She sort of was asking Hani to say something that she can't even remember, or she wasn't even bothered about. Okay, so that's part of the text messages. Now they said that, and this is part of it, and the Hani was saying like, I'm not really sure. So when they confirmed, so the manager told the group members, I'll it to ignore you. And she said, Hani said, I'm not really sure. And that's not what actually came out in the public. So they said that tomorrow, or maybe day after tomorrow, there's going to be more things to be released in the media. And so let's see what's going to happen. They're going to release more messages of Min Hee Jin. Okay, Hani learned a lot from Minheejun. Bang PD gets dragged by army for breathing. If this was BTS and Bang Shiyuk, MHJ would be curled up in the corner crying. How did special how did special freely so confused? How did special freely? Can you clarify your question? I'm feeling that way too. Okay. If Bang Shiyuk talked about BTS the way she did about New Jeans Army, would be demanding he be tossed out of the just make me shake my head that they still support her. Oh yeah. If he talked that way about BTS, oh yeah. Oh, he should run away and not ever even dream of going back. But yeah, the thing is that, as we know, he's very, very respectful of BTS, and to this day, he has. I appreciate actually that he has stayed out of. He stayed. He's sort of letting them do what they want. He's not gotten in the way of anything. The members are actually able to produce the kind of music that they want, make the kind of music that they want, the kind of promotion that they want. He's just staying out of it. I also appreciate that Hybe has repeatedly emphasized that they will just be supporting BTS no matter what they want to do. They'll be there to support BTS. I appreciate when their CEO said, as you know, they have this quarterly call with their stakeholders, and in the last one, he specifically mentioned that I hope you would understand that BTS has a different position in the company, and that we're just going to be here to make sure that whatever it is that they are envisioning will be there to support it. So I am sure that even Hybe knows that you cannot take away BTS's like you can't avoid the fact that people are going to be attracted to Hybe because of BTS. That's just how it's. I think that's going to happen forever, right? But I appreciate how they are consciously trying to not mention BTS every minute that they can. So I appreciate that. They're lucky to have such diligently hard workers who are motivated. Okay, Hybe, truly the best company for BTS. On a positive note, big hit new boy group debuts in August. So excited. Yes, August 18. I discussed that earlier. Okay, I guess as a closing, just something really, really light. Did you like Demon Hunters? I actually, so it's been on my to do. It's in my playlist for a while now, and I was actually very surprised that Jungkook actually cried. So he replayed a part of it, and he actually cried. So have you guys actually watched it already? Have you gotten a chance to watch it? And did you like it? Did you like it? Loved it? Loved it? So good? I agree. I like it, but I wish the ending was stronger. The music was great. I love K-pop Demon Hunters. Not really. It made me mad. It made you mad. Yes, good movie, good music, but it should have been 10 to 15 minutes longer. I agree with that. So I loved it. I loved it in a way that I guess I would say I loved it. I love it in the same way I love most comedy movies. Like, I'm there to have fun. I'm there um to be entertained, and that's what I was. I was entertained in the 1 hour, I guess 1 hour 20 because the last 15 minutes was actually just a lot of music. So that, yeah, that's what I felt in the last, in that 1 hour 21 hour 25. I was just entertained. I love the music. Is it groundbreaking? Absolutely not, but it was entertaining, and so I love it for that. I absolutely love it for that. And like, I don't think that that it is, it was a wasted 1 hour 20 of my life or 1 hour 30 or something like that. So it's there. I'm going to be saying some spoilers. So if you don't want to hear this, please stop watching, because I'm going to be talking about specific like plot points and things that happened. So if you don't want to get some spoilers, this is fair warning. Okay. I thought it had a good message. Okay. All right. So, as I've said, if you don't want to hear or read any kind of spoiler, thank you. Bye. Okay. All right. I think that's enough of that's more than a minute, right? Of me just waiting for you to actually exit. Okay. So it was fun and the music was good. And I am so happy that it actually started really fast, right? Like in the very beginning, when they opened, it was already them singing, the girls singing, Huntrix singing, and it was good. So it's like, oh, yeah, this is great. So, and it also set the mood for the entire movie, that it was really all about entertainment. So I absolutely love the opening. It was fast. I don't know if you're aware of it, but really in this day and age, it is recommended that you actually hook them. You hook the audience within the first 5 minutes, or you will lose them forever. It used to be 10, now it's just 5. Okay. And then I love that the characters actually have potentials. Like they have the way that they were characterized, the way their problems, their nuances, it had potential. Like you can meaning, if someone will bother, they can actually write a book, or create a movie dedicated to one character. That's how good the characterizations are. Of course, I specifically love Rumi. She's the leader, and she's half demon. I love how it was presented. I love how when it was revealed, because as I've said, that's enough of an angst. So there is a potential for his character, for her character alone, to have her own story, how she got to that point. Okay, the ramen 3 minutes. Okay, I love that. I love when she said that. Like, okay, we'll be there in 3 minutes, and then it was because it takes 3 minutes for the ramen to heat up. And of course, it's a unique concept. I mean, there's been a lot of stories that are about demon hunters, and then there's a lot of stories about singers. Few stories on K-pop, but this is the first time we're actually witnessing uh, of those two things put together. So it's a unique concept. It's different, right? Okay. Yes. So one of the baby Saja, according to the creator, they pulled some of her the. I guess they were one of the inspiration is actually Jimin. Okay. However, it's not perfect for me. And I do think one of you said that it was way too short. I think that has a lot to do with it. It was really compact, which is not bad. It's just that I did not feel very attached to the baby Saja is the character that is based on Jimin. Viv. So baby Saja, the gaga gaga gaga. He didn't really say anything. So okay, so it's fun. It's just that I did not feel attached to the characters. I feel like on paper, if I read the characterizations of each, it would be great. As I've said, like Rumi really, really excites me. Her character really excites me, being half demon and all. I think that's a good start. It's just that I did not get to know her enough to feel attached to her. So I didn't fall in love with her. Okay. And then, so for example, one of the reasons I didn't feel very attached is that I couldn't understand the threat, right? So in a movie, at the very beginning, when conflict starts and two groups are about to fight, for example, the fundamental question is that what's at stake? So if one group wins and then the other loses, what are we going to lose? So what's at stake? What is the threat and what is at stake? And I feel I really don't understand what the threat is. I just know that they are demons. Okay, that's not good. They're demons, right? But so what? What is it that specifically they're going to be doing? Because if you would remember, for Thanos, it was very concrete to us. If he gets those rings, those stones, the five stones, if he gets them, then the half of the world or more than half of the world will disappear. It's very, very clear in my head what is at stake. So he cannot win because half of the world is going to disappear. But for K-pop demon hunters, I don't know what's at stake. So what if they win? What specifically is it that they are going to do? I did not understand that. Okay. This is the Sadra boys. So what so that was what I was asking when I was moving. I was watching it like, okay, you're fighting, but what? So what? What am I going to lose if they win? Are they going to kill everybody? Are they going to possess everybody? What's gonna happen? Is every animal in the world gonna die? Every plant in the world gonna die? And then one thing about relationships in a movie, and it's not necessarily just romantic relationships, it can be anything, friendship in a family, but for characters to be attached, again, not just romantic, but for characters to feel attached, because you're usually breaking up relationships, right? And when you break them up, you cheer for the characters. You don't want them to disappear. For that to actually, for you to garner that kind of reaction from the audience, you need to show what one character doesn't have and how the other character fills it up. So, for example, I don't know if you guys know the movie Notting Hill. Okay, I hope you guys know that movie. So in Notting Hill, Anna and William, right? So this is one of the best characterizations of a couple, because right from the beginning, you know what William doesn't, that Anna is able to provide. And then eventually and within the first 15 minutes, we realize what it is that Anna doesn't have that William is actually able to provide. So that's why you're cheering for them, because you feel like you complement each other. So you need to stay together. Okay. So if you haven't watched this movie, please watch it. Okay. So for William, um, for, did I, okay. So for William, he was living a very boring life, and everything around him was just boring from beginning to end. It was a boring bookstore. It was a boring day. He looked bored. Supreme Empress. I really liked Huntrix. My son made me watch it. He said, "Finally, mom, something K-pop like we can, something K-pop like we both enjoy." I hope they do a sequel for this one. I really do. Maybe even a series. I think that way we can explore the characters more. Okay, so for example, for Anna, Anna gave William a taste of excitement in his otherwise boring world, right? When we see him in the beginning, he was wearing this boring shirt. He walks in a boring shop and he deals with a boring customer. He was committing a crime, but it was a boring crime. Like really, it was a bland kind of life. And then he sees Anna walk in his little bookstore. So Anna provides William a certain kind of excitement that is absent from his world. And in the same way, William shattered the perfection that was suffocating Anna. If you remember, he spilled coffee on Anna, and she was wearing like a white shirt. That shirt, the one that you're seeing right now. And so she is trapped in this fame, the Hollywood fame that she has. And suddenly, here is William in a boring world, so disorganized, shattering that kind of perfection. So, right off the bat, you're feeling like, oh, okay, I know why you're right for each other, because what the other doesn't have, the other provides. And I feel like that is what was missing in the relationships in Demon Hunters. I don't know what it is that one person doesn't have that the other fills up. And that is not just between Jinu and Rumi, but just with everybody else, especially the Huntrix, the three. I don't quite understand what the others provide that the others doesn't. Okay, don't have, sorry. So that's why we love contrasts. So rich boy, poor girl, because if you're a poor girl, then the rich boy can provide you with luxury and whatever. We like contrasts because we can clearly see how one person fills up what's lacking in the other person. Conservative girl, rebel boy, star-crossed lovers. We love cheerleader meeting the rocker or the rebel in school, because again, it's all about us understanding why they actually love each other, why they're forming that kind of a bond. So the connection, the problem was that for the most part, the connection of these people in the characters, the connection was very verbal. If you would remember, there was a scene when the three girls were talking inside their apartment, and Mira was talking about, yeah, no, we understand this is not the right song for us. You guys accepted me. I'm so I'm not very sophisticated in my words, but you guys accept me and I love you for it. So whatever it is that you do, let's stay together or whatever. I That they should have shown that instead of saying it, because that's what is more compelling in a movie. You have to show me or make me a part of it instead of just telling me. So here, they're just saying it, show, don't tell, or make me experience it, don't just tell me. And here, that's what happened. It's always the character telling the other person how they complement each other instead of just showing us. So I didn't feel so invested in their relationship. So when um, for Rumi and Gino, for example, Rumi was the one who believed in Gino, because Gino was saying that I'm a demon, whatever. I lied to you, whatever. Uh, and then Rumi said, no, you're a good person. You have to believe in yourself. I believe in you. You're a good person. You're going to do it. So that I kind of see that she was the first person who believed in him, because everyone else who was around him just thought of him as a demon. So Rumi was the first one who believed in him. But again, that is not a reason for them to stay together. That's an effect of them coming together. But I still don't know why. What is it that the other is missing that the other fills up? I still didn't get it. Okay. I would argue that the thought that any bookstore can be boring. True for us. Yes. So then the other thing, I have the same thought as Jungkook. When I was seeing this scene, I was like, well, why? Why didn't you just fight side by side her? Why did you have to sacrifice yourself? I missed it. Is there anything in the movie that stated, only a soul of one person can actually stop this thing, whatever it is, this thing that she was trying to stop? I meant, if it was there, I missed it, because when he decided to sacrifice himself, I was like, well, you didn't have to do that. You could have just helped her, and maybe the other person, the other two girls as well, then the four of you can fight this thing, what? So I don't understand why he had to sacrifice himself. He was dead and she was living. I know, but Rumi was telling him that I can set you free if we're able to keep everybody safe, you can get your soul back. That was she was saying. So I still don't get it, unless I missed something. He was dead. No, I get it. But remember, Rumi told him, no, you'll be safe. So why did he have to sacrifice himself? Still didn't get it. With Rumi and Gino, it's about having someone believe in you when you can't believe in yourself. Yeah, that's what I said. That I get when she said it. Like, no, you're not a bad person. You're so much more than just a demon. But it should have been an effect instead of the cause of their attraction. So I still don't get what is it that he has that that she doesn't, and what is it that she has that he doesn't, so that they complement each other. Okay, so specifically this scene, I was just like, I was like, Jungkook, why? And then I love Mira's character. She actually probably is my favorite character there, but I think she was underutilized because I really didn't get to know her all that much. She has this like her voice feels like there's so much abandon in her, like she's very blonde and blunt. But outside of that, I don't know much. So I feel like her character is underutilized. And I also didn't feel a change in her. So usually the lead character or the most important characters will go through a transformation. Like for example, for Lord of the Rings, he was a happy-go-lucky, uh, no care in the world, just playing around, and then suddenly he ended up with a ring, right? So and then at the end he was never the same. He was never the same. He was never the same again. So there's a transformation from being a happy-go-lucky person to having this burden in him. But that didn't happen to Rumi. uh, so I feel like she was underutilized. Not Rumi, but Mira. Actually, all the characters, almost all the characters, they didn't really have any kind of transformation. So it's good, but I feel like the characters didn't have enough depth for me to love them, and it was too plot driven that they forgot to explore the characters. So I think it would had they made it longer, probably they would have had the opportunity to actually do subplots and whatever. Even the backstory of Rumi, when Celine was actually talking to her about it, she was just saying it. Like when I lost your mom, when your mother died or whatever. Is I want to show it, don't just say it, because that's a stronger thing. um but I love it so much. It was really really fun that I hope they do a sequel, or they actually turn this into a series so that we get a chance to get to know each character. We can actually explore each characters, and of course we get to have more great music and great action sequences, because oh my god, the action sequences was really 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 good. It was well directed. So those are my thoughts. An underdeveloped story essentially, but still good. An underdeveloped story, I think, for the purpose of what they set out to do. I think it's a good one. They accomplished it. I think that's what they wanted: something to entertain, something different, something that will leave a mark, and all of those things this movie was able to do. So I'm looking forward. I'm pretty sure it's a big hit. It's a huge hit. So I'm pretty sure they are already discussing doing a series. Someone wants to buy it already, and I hope they actually it materializes. I don't think it was a test to see if a K-pop. I think this was a test to see if a K-pop focused animated movie could have global appeal, and it has. So I expect a sequel series. I do too. I think it should be a series. Same here. I love the song actually built on the plot and characters. It's rare to see that. Correct. Angel Star sounds good, but nowadays I can only do audiobooks. Okay, reminded me of the Disney era where they released Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, etc. It's because of the music. Do you guys think Gino is still alive? Yes, I think he's gonna make a comeback. Gino will make a comeback because it was his story arc. The others were not willing to fight the big bad he was. Yeah, I think he's gonna make a comeback. So yeah, I and I think they're gonna have like a manhwa, a manhwa. I think they will. Um, it's a huge. I think it would be stupid of Netflix to not invest in this, right? It's a huge hit. Supreme Empress. Is it worth going? Is it worth them going to the Met Gala? Who? The ones that voiced the characters? They were supposed to have Isaac, but the executives didn't get why they were doing archery and stuff. Oh, you're talking about BTS going to the Met Gala? Big Hit and Hybe are changing the norm for the better. Um, Met Gala. Uh, so Met Gala benefits the Met. So I mean, I hope they buy, at the very least they buy a table. At least they can contribute to the Met Gala. But I don't think there's hardly anything they will need to do. Like the same for Coachella, the same for a festival. I don't think they need to do a Met Gala. I don't think it will specifically benefit them. I think if they're going to do it, they're going to do it just because they want to support the Met Gala, because we know that they love art. So the earliest a sequel would come is 27 or 28. Well, I mean, sure. Sony should release a physical copy of this movie, and packaging should be like a K-pop album, along with free photo cards inside of the characters. Yeah. I hope so. I mean, I hope they develop each character well. I think if they do that, there's a good chance they will develop a really loyal following that will cut across different generations. The same way, like for example, Samurai X. You know, Samurai X has been around for a while, but each generation there's always this set of people that continue to love his character. So if they're able to explore the characters that well, yeah. Okay, we are already 5 minutes over time. Thank you very much, everybody. I will be doing a live stream Friday. I just am not sure. Maybe Thursday. I don't know. But I just am not sure. Anyway, but yeah. So for the members of my YouTube, I will be doing a live stream, and then at least one video a week for you guys exclusive. And then I will also do a live stream just for Patreon. Okay. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.